All right, welcome to our podcast. This is Dale Cecil, one of our customers, and we actually have a working relationship outside of that as well, which we might get into a little bit later. But thanks for coming on. Kind of the purpose of our covered podcast is to help educate homeowners, and the reason that we have you on this morning is to just talk about your experience, since our relationship started out as you being one of our clients. And so just tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe a little bit about the type of home you have.
My name is Dale Cecil. I'm an insurance broker, as a matter of fact, but not in the property and casualty business. I'm in employee benefits and individual health insurance, individual life insurance. And
Okay.
my home's probably about 3,600 square feet out in Davidson County. Live in a rural area, in a neighborhood, but in a neighborhood that's got pretty big, 2 acre lots. So.
Yeah. Okay. So how did you hear about our company?
Well, I had noticed a leak in my living room, and I've had pretty good luck with referrals. So I had posted something on Facebook looking for, because I try to do business with clients that do business with me if they're in that line of work, but
Yeah.
I didn't have any roofers or anybody in that line of work. And then of course this was I guess a busy time of the year. I had reached out to a couple of subcontractors that are clients of mine, and they didn't have, it was going to be quite a while before they were able to come out there and look at it. So had another guy that's actually a friend of mine. He texted me and said, Dale, I'm over here close, I'll come by and look at it. So he came over, got his ladder out, went up on top of the roof, and he wasn't there 5 minutes, and he come back down the roof. He said, you got a problem. You got a bigger problem than what I can fix. He said, you need...
This other roofing contractor.
No, it was just
just
a friend,
Okay.
subcontractor. He said, this
Okay.
is, you've got a bigger problem than what it
he could
looks
deal with,
like.
okay.
Yep. So I said, well, okay, here we go. So I had posted on Facebook looking for recommendations on a roofing company, because I've heard of all the stigma of, I've had people stop by the house wanting to look at the roof and all that. And, of course I had passed on it. This was years earlier. Mm-hmm. And I posted on Facebook, and I had a lot of people, give me some recommendations. And I thought, well, I need to at least do my due diligence and pick out 3 companies.
Yeah.
And out of the 3 companies, one of them was 5-star.
Okay.
So one of my, actually a friend of mine had posted, said they are awesome company, good to deal with. They did our roof. We love them, blah, blah, blah. So that was one of the companies that I called.
Okay. So, all right, I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people say that they want to check with a few different, companies
Right.
before they make their final decision. So let me ask you, obviously, the obvious, one of the deciding factors, has to be money, right? Obviously. I mean, if something is 30,000 versus 20,000 versus 10,000, I guess one would go, well, why such the variance in price, right? But so outside of price, what were you looking for in a contractor?
Well, to get to where I want to go with this, basically what happened was I just picked, I had 10, 15 people on there. So I just picked out 3, looked at people that I trust, mm-hmm. that I feel like would give me a good recommendation. And so I just picked out 3. Out of those 3, I scheduled them, because I work out of my house, and I stay pretty busy myself too. So I said, I'm going to do this in the afternoon. I want to call, make an appointment. And I started at 3:00 and allotted an hour for each person to come and for me to talk to. So I had one at 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
Was the times.
And we were one of those?
Yeah, and y'all were one of them.
Okay.
Y'all were actually the middle one.
Okay.
So I work out of my house, so where I sit in my office, I can look right down my cul-de-sac and see. So
Yep.
I'm a Marine, so I love being on time.
Okay.
And that's one of my deciding factors,
Yeah.
is do what you tell me you're going to do.
Yep.
So my 3:00 appointment, I'm sitting there, it's 5 after 3. I see nothing coming, no phone call, nothing. Mm-hmm. So then about 3:30, I see a truck down at the end of my cul-de-sac, and he's just sitting there. So sort of got me a little agitated. I thought, what the guy's 30 minutes late. What's he doing? So I walked out of my house and motioned for the guy in the truck. I said, "Come on, you're 30 minutes late." So as he come in, I was already a little hot because I was thinking this was my 3:00 appointment. And he gets out of the car and big guy, and I said, "Buddy," I said, "you got 30 minutes." I said, I got somebody else coming at 4:00. You're late, and that's not starting off good with me." And he said, "Well, sir, I'm sorry." He said, "But I'm your 4:00. We're 5-star."
Yeah. Okay.
I said, "Oh, really?"
Okay.
So make a long story short, he came in, got up on my roof, super nice guy, basically told me what was going on with my roof.
Okay.
And he was there probably all of about close to an hour and a half.
Okay.
And I don't know, I just felt confident. I felt good about what this guy was telling me. I could tell he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And then my third person came, and we didn't click right off the bat. The first thing he said, without even looking at my roof, was, "We'll waive your deductible." And I thought, what? What are you talking about? You don't even know what's going on with my roof. And he said, "Well, we'll beat anybody's price. We'll waive your deductible. You won't have to pay for that." And I said, "Okay." So in my mind, I'm thinking this guy's a shyster. I'm not even doing business with this guy.
Yeah.
So he got up there, looked around, and I just didn't feel it. In my mind at that time, I really didn't care what the point was, what the price was. My feeling was so good with 5-star. Actually, when he followed back up with me, I think it was the next day. It was pretty quick. I said, "Well," he told me the truth. He said, "Dale, your roof's 25 years old. There is some hail damage on there." I had communicated with my insurance agent, and he told me the same thing. He said, "Dale, your roof's 25 years old. It's got hail damage. I don't know if the insurance company's going to pay for it."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Well, I've got to do something. The leak is bad. I didn't realize it was that bad. It's getting mildew in areas." And I said, "Well, regardless of insurance pays for it or not, I'm going with 5-star." So I said at that time, he said, "You're scheduled 4 or 5 weeks out." And I thought, well, I'm not going to wait for the insurance company to come back and tell me yes or no or whatever. I've got to get this scheduled because, we're during the rainy season. And I said, this is bad. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger, told him, I said, "Look, regardless of insurance pays for it or not, I'm going with y'all. Let's get it scheduled."
So, so you went through your agent to file the claim?
Yes.
Okay. And then, and I know this is a while back ago. What year did we actually install your roof? Probably 4 years ago, I think.
It's been.
I think I looked it up. I think it was about 4 years ago. Yeah.
Well, the other thing I like about it is 5-star's guy got up on the roof. Of course, I didn't get up there. He got up on the roof. I mean, I could tell because when he came back down, he was the only one out of both guys that he took pictures and he showed me.
Yeah.
Down on the ground, where the damage was, and the other thing that made me feel good about him, he said, "Look, Dale, when you call your adjuster," he said, you give me heads up, at least give me 24 hours. He said, "I will meet him over here."
Right.
And I thought, wow, that's pretty good. The other guy didn't mention coming back and helping me.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it was a week or two later, adjuster called me. They're coming to look, and I called 5-star. He was there, Johnny on the spot.
Yep.
Was there probably 30 minutes early, and got up on the roof. And they were on the roof for, I would say, good 30, 45 minutes. And he was honest with me. He said, "Dale," he said, "I don't know. I'll go to bat for you," which I feel like he did.
You're talking about the adjuster? Or you're talking about?
No, 5-star.
Okay.
5-star. He got up there because I wasn't going to get up on the roof. I
Yep.
didn't know what to look for.
Yeah.
And
so he didn't make you any promises like, this is a slam dunk, we're going to definitely get you approved?
No. He said, and he knew where I was at. I had to get it done, regardless if insurance paid for it or insurance didn't pay for it. I was calculating that insurance wasn't going to pay for it.
Okay.
After talking with my insurance agent. And They actually brought. It sort of was a little weird to me. They brought out 4 adjusters. They had there was 2 up on the roof with the five-star rep, and then there was 2 inside because I had inside damage too.
Oh, okay.
I had inside damage
from the leak.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they had. They were there a good 2.5 hours, taking pictures and doing what. And so as the adjusters left, I asked, what's the guy 5-star?
Oh, Luke, yeah.
I asked Luke, I said, well, so what do we do now? And he said, well, we'll just have to wait and see what they say. So I pretty much, because Luke was honest with me. He said, Dale, there is damage, but, your roof's old. It's old.
Yeah.
And it was. I've never done anything to it. And so I had budgeted real quickly to just pay for it myself. And then sure enough, about a week before 5-star came out and done the deal and put me on a new roof, I got a check in the mail from the insurance company. So I was really excited.
Yeah.
So it seemed like everything fell in place. But my big thing with 5-star was the guy did exactly what he told me he was going to do.
Yeah.
Very professional. I feel like he went the extra mile and was honest with me. That was more important than anything. He didn't walk out and say, we're going to waive your deductible. Of course, I had to pay my deductible 5-star, and I expected to pay it. Me being in the insurance business, I'm not trying to screw anybody over.
Right.
I value my homeowners insurance.
Well, and the bottom line is, and it's sometimes it's a tough conversation to have with homeowners, because there are so many contractors out there that will say, hey, we can, bury that, we can make it go away, we can do this, that, and the other, and technically the bottom line is it's fraud, because you're defrauding the insurance company 100%. Out of your responsibility loss, because the time that you go to sign that contract for that policy, you're saying, hey, I know I have, you're acknowledging that you have $1,000 deductible or $2,500 or a percentage of the value of the house or whatever it might be, and they deduct that from that first payment. Do you remember if the way that your checks were sent to you?
That's exactly what it was.
You had 2 different ones, right?
No.
Oh, they gave you everything?
They gave me everything at one time, and it was from what your cost was.
Okay.
And the other thing that I really liked, there was no haggling between what y'all had quoted and what the final bill was. I mean, it came out right spot on. I gave y'all the check for what the insurance company plus $1,000 and got a brand new roof, and it looks absolutely awesome, beautiful.
Awesome. Well, so, and we'll talk about the whole install experience in just a second, but one of the things I wanted to touch on is that you mentioned that your roof at the time that you called in to claim was about 25 years old. Yeah.
At least.
Okay, so it could be a little bit older. And that's another thing that a lot of homeowners, the myth that, well, my roof is 20 years, 25 years, 30 years old. There's no way, because it's already at the end of life, there's no way that they're going to pay for me to get a brand new roof, which actually is false.
Yep.
100%. Case in point, you got a new roof paid for by your insurance company. Now, did you know that you have a window of time to file the claim from the date of loss? Otherwise, you're basically out of luck. So in other words, let's say that the date of loss was 2002, right? Sometime in 2002. And then in 2020, you try to file a claim for a loss that happened in 2002. Well, you're way past your window of time.
Right.
So most carriers, and I'm not sure about your specific one, but most of them, as a rule of thumb, is like 3 years from the date of loss. And oftentimes when we're talking to a homeowner, and we see that the date of loss was, it's kind of pushing up against that expiration date, we try to encourage them to go ahead and call in a claim, while they're in that window of opportunity. Otherwise, they're just going to have to come out of pocket.
Well, that was another thing I felt like Luke was, and he was right. I didn't pay any attention to it. That was another thing that Luke had mentioned, because we had, before my leak had started, and I didn't pay any attention to it, there was some bad hail damage in our area, in our surrounding area in Davidson County, during that time period, and I didn't think nothing about it. And Luke said, we've quoted quite a few jobs out here in this area due to hail damage from that storm, and I remembered the storm, but I didn't think it would affect me. So you're exactly right.
Yep.
And that was another thing that I was very thankful for, because I didn't know. I mean,
right.
I'm not.
Well, and the thing is, we don't get hail like they do in Texas, where it's
Right.
baseball size, softball size hail, or the hail's going like literally through the roof and in the living room, So we don't get it that bad. So the point in saying that is from the ground, from our view, you look at your roof and it looks like it's fine. So we could have had a hail event that happened last night, and then in the morning you wake up, you look at your roof and you don't see a leak, and you're like, oh. Yeah, everything's
Exactly.
okay. I don't need anything. But then when you get up on the roof, it's a totally different,
Exactly.
view. That's why we take the pictures and show everyone, what we found. And there's a lot of times that we do that, and the roof is fine.
Right.
Then of course we don't, recommend filing a claim.
Well, that was another thing that made me feel good about your company, 5-Star, is when Luke come down, he wasn't trying to hoodoo me or anything.
Yeah.
He had a bunch of pictures.
Good.
And matter of fact, he emailed them to me so I could forward them to my insurance agent, and so when we started the claim. But that was another thing that the other guy did not even do. He just walked up there and was up there 2 minutes and came back down.
Right.
But Luke took a bunch of pictures and showed me exactly what was going on and what he saw.
Yeah, the level of professionalism, and we try to do that with every single inspection that we do. Just do a thorough job. Don't make promises that we can't keep. That kind of thing, and just be just very honest. With everyone. So now talk to me about from the time that you got approved, you got your check. We came in, probably went over color options and just overall different options for you as far as, shingle types and that kind of thing. And then we scheduled your install. Then we come in and do the installation. Do you remember about how fast or long that was?
From the time
that we signed the contract to when we actually installed your roof?
Well, I mean, y'all were dead on. You told me exactly. I think it was 6 weeks at that time.
Okay.
It was, y'all were really busy.
Yeah.
So
we're like two and a half weeks on average right now.
Yeah. So, but at that time, I think it was 6 weeks out from the time I pulled the trigger.
Okay.
And said, let's go for it. And told me exactly what day you were going to be out, and communicated with me very well. Did exactly what you said. So I'm going to say from the time we signed the contract to by the time y'all got out there, you were dead on the day you told me. They came exactly the day they told me. And the other thing that surprised me, I thought, because my house it's not huge, but it's 3,600 square feet. I'm thinking, well,
it's good size.
I'll work out of the house. This is going to be a little frustrating. It's going to probably be a week process of dealing with this.
Yeah.
Listening, and
pounding
and working. And so I asked Luke, I said, well, buddy, how long is this going to take? How many days? Because I was thinking, well, I can get out in the field and do some work. And he said, oh, we'll have it done in a day. I said, you're kidding me. There's no way you're going to do this in a day. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Did we do it in a day?
Done it in a day.
Awesome.
Done it in a day.
Yeah.
7 o'clock the morning come, there was tarps coming down on the side of the house, and 20 guys showing up, and it went to town. They did exactly, you guys did exactly what you told me you were going to do. And I mean, and they didn't leave until, of course, it was summertime, so it stayed dark. But I don't think those guys left till it was done, picked up, cleaned up. I think it was 8:30 that night. But they were done. Yeah, they were done with the shingles.
Awesome. So throughout this entire process, were there any challenges that came up?
Not for me. I mean, to me, I was very, very thrilled of how professional it was, how organized it was. The only thing that we had at the end, and I really didn't notice, we had some, and to be honest with you, I don't remember who caught it. To me, 5-Star caught it because I sure didn't know. There was some brass or copper. Copper that was on the house. And, of course, it had been, I didn't even know there was copper up there because it was so dark.
Yeah.
And so we had a little bit of an issue there, which I would have never noticed. But, you and your wife came out and told me exactly what was going on, that the quote did not include the copper, and you want to put the roof back exactly the way it was and make it right, and that's what y'all did.
Yeah, so I think what happened initially is we didn't catch the fact that you had copper valley metal, and it looked like it was just regular.
And it was quite a bit.
Yeah,
it was quite a bit of copper.
Right, in all your valleys. probably all your flashings as well, and like chimney. Do you have a chimney on your
Yes,
roof? Okay,
yes.
yeah. So your chimney flashing was probably copper as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is hard to tell, over many years, because it turns just like looks like regular metal.
Exactly.
Yep. So you have to do what's called a copper test, basically just a little scratch, and then if it looks like a shiny like a penny, then you know that it's copper. So we were able to just swap that out, talk to your insurance adjuster, and get it approved. So there was 2 checks. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because you normally get
Did that,
your
and
down.
then they
Yep.
did the copper.
Yeah, your initial
Yep, they
check
did.
pays
I
for labor and
remember that.
materials. Okay. Yep. And then sometimes we do what's called a supplement, as well. Then sometimes it could be a third check. Yep. Yep. So how do you feel about your roof now?
Love it. And just to add on, it was maybe 6 months after y'all had put the roof on. Of course, it seems like when it rains, it pours. My sunlights, I got 2 sunlights. My sunlight in one of the bathrooms was leaking. Had nothing to do with 5-star. It was just the sunlight was, 30 years old. So I thought, well, I need to get that done. So if I'm going to replace one, I'm going to go ahead and do 2. So there again, I got a few referrals and had a guy come out, and he replaced both of them. Of course, when he replaced both of them, me not thinking, and he tried to put the shingles back, he made a mess, and it looked absolutely awful. I mean, I'm thinking this beautiful roof that we've just had done, it looks, when you pull up, you can see the shingles. It looks terrible. So I called back into 5-star, and I said, hey, can y'all help me out? I've had some guys come out here and put in new skylights, and me not thinking, they because I did have a couple extra bundle of shingles that I was going to throw away, and y'all told me, no, do not throw them away. You might need them one day. Right. And sure enough, I did.
Yeah.
So I called 5-star back. 5-star came out, and as always, professional job. They repaired what the guy had messed up on both of them.
Okay.
And it looks absolutely awesome.
Okay, good deal. So you decided to replace those skylights just after we put the roof on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't have any issue until about 6 months after.
Yeah. We always recommend, if there's no leaking going on around the skylights, it kind of like seals. Like there's a certain kind of seal that's in place, and when you break that seal, you're just kind of open for some leak issues. But anyway,
it was just old skylights that needed to be done, and I mean, if I would have thought about it at the time when y'all were doing what you were doing, then I would have had them done. And not only that, on the other thing, I was so impressed because, 59 years old, I've dealt with I know a lot of people and, heard a lot of stories and this, that, and other. Plus, I've had a lot of different people come to my house. I was so impressed with the work that 5-star done. I even recommend them, and 5-star sent some guys out because I had it nothing to do with the roof, but had rod around my windows. Remember y'all come out and done that? Yeah. That was a major deal because I had a lot of subs that came out, actually clients of mine, and they didn't want to tackle it. They didn't want to. They didn't want to mess with the rot around my windows, which was several in the back of the house, and some boards that were rotten, and couldn't get anybody to do it. And so I reached out to 5-star and asked them if they had a recommendation, and they took care of that for me, and it looked absolutely awesome. It looked brand new.
So what made you, because we're a roofing company, right?
Right.
So like, how did the thought come to your mind, like, well, let me reach out to 5-star Roofing to maybe see if they can help me out with windows?
Well, what made me think about it is I thought, well, number one is they did such a good job on my roof. If they can't do it, maybe they know somebody that can do it because I trusted them.
Yeah.
I trusted what they did. I just did business with them.
Perfect. Yep. And so it happens we do full windows and siding. So I know we did. Well, did we actually replace windows, or we just did like the?
Well, and then actually, I take it a step further.
Yeah.
No, you repaired all the rot.
The rot around the. Okay.
And then actually, if you remember. Then I said, well, the outside needs to be painted.
Oh, yeah.
And so I reached out to 5-star again.
Yep.
And they took care of painting the outside of my house.
Yeah. We found somebody there.
Gave me a referral, and
they did an awesome job.
Very, very excited. Did exactly what they said, and couldn't. You hear a lot of people say, And I've had it happen too. You get people that's supposed to come out and see and quote you, and they don't even show up. They don't even call you and tell you they're not going to come.
Right.
So,
Yep.
you know, 5-star always to me is a quality company, quality people. They do what they're going to say and back up what they say. Same thing with me and my business. I'm very thankful that my business is good, is because I always do what I tell people I'm going to do. I show up early. I do exactly what I'm going to do, and it's always been helped me in my business to be successful. I mean, I most of my business is referral,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that hit me on 5-star is I got them by referral. And matter of fact, I followed up with the girl that gave it to me, and I said, thank you. I mean, that was spot on.
Yeah.
Took care of it, made the process easy. Because, I mean, you know, replacing a roof on a 3,600 square foot house, me working out of the house, it's not an easy something to mess with. So
That's right.
I was very excited, very excited.
Well, I'm glad you had such a great experience. You know, we aren't a perfect company. There's definitely stuff that comes up, you know, but I feel like we do a phenomenal job with, you know, how we respond to that. And, you know, we always address and fix issues, you know, should we make a mistake or whatever. And we do, we do make mistakes, you know, thank God it's not as often as, you know, we do it the right way. So kind of in closing, what would you say to a customer, you know, to another homeowner that is, you know, going through the vetting process and they're trying to decide, you know, all right, well, which contractor, because, you know, we're not the only great contractor that's out there. There's a lot of other good ones as well. So just based on your experience, you know, what would you tell a homeowner?
Well, I mean, my advice to any homeowner is, you know, I'm not paid to be here. I'm telling you the truth, telling you exactly what my experience was dealing with them on not only my roof, but a couple of other projects. And then just seeing, matter of fact, I've given them, I refer them a lot. I mean, anytime I do, my neighbor got his roof done. Another one of my best friends got his roof done. And they'll tell you the same thing I'm telling you. The service is great. They're glad they went with 5-star. You know, just the trust that, because I'm not going to get up on my roof and look at it. I feel confident that what the work that they done is quality work. My issue was solved, and you don't have to worry about that. I know you hear the stories of other roofers and other companies that this wasn't done. And I mean, a lot of homeowners don't get up on top of the roof to make sure the work was done and correctly and all that. So, you know, just me personally, just from personal experience, and to me, that's the best way to do it, is listen to somebody from a referral, the experience they had. Yeah. And from being on, a lot of times I look at the little things, being on time. Can you be on time? If you're not going to be on time, you're probably not going to start on time. And then, you know, this thing's going to drag out longer than the 6 week that we talked about. So, you know, everything you did, everything you told me happened exactly the way you told me. The one little bump we had, you fixed it, jumped on it. Something that I wouldn't even have caught. I think it was more of an issue. I felt like that y'all was offended more than I was about it, and addressed it. And you know, I highly recommend 5-star. I'm a 5-star recommendation just because of the quality of the service, quality of the people, the whole organization. To me, you take it serious. We're not a fly by night roofing company that's going to play the Ponzi scheme with your money. So that's the way I feel.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for coming out here this morning and spending time with me and having this interview with me. I really appreciate it. All right. Thank you.